Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for another quick build. We are going to take a look at Pantheon today, who currently has a pretty high ban rate, a very high pick rate, and a pretty good win rate. So he's kind of all over the board right now. He's getting played a lot because of the Season 5 jungle. We're going to see what he does. We're going to look over his abilities, his runes, his masteries, and of course his items. As for Pantheon's abilities, at level 1, you actually do one or the other. You can either take your Q or your W. It's really up to you, but I typically will take my Q because you can use it multiple times a lot early. We're going to be putting a point into this and maxing this out. First, at level 2, put a point into your Aegis because that is your stun and it gives you your block, which is your sustain in the jungle big time. And then at level 3, put a point into your Heart Seeker Strike. We're going to max this out. Second, max out your Aegis last. And then obviously his Grand Skyfall. Put points into this at levels 6, 11, and 16. As for the rune page we take when we play Pantheon in the jungle, we're going to go ahead and take the attack damage marks. We're going to take the armor seals, the flat magic resist glyphs, and then attack damage quintessences. Obviously move speed ones work here too, but we are going to get attack damage because of what we're going to build. As for our Masteries page, we're going to go with a 21-9-0. 21 in the offense, pick up everything that is of course damage. And then 9 in the defense, we don't worry about resisting the minions because we kill them fast, and we actually have our block built into our Aegis, so we're completely fine. As for the items that we build on Pantheon when we jungle, we're going to start off with the Hunter's Machete and a couple health pots and of course a Warding Totem. We're going to go back to base fairly early on and pick up the Stalker's Blade. That's kind of my favorite choice. Obviously, Rangers is also pretty easy. I mean, that's kind of your go-to if you just don't know what to buy. But I like Stalkers. It's great while ganking. We're going to start to get our boots and, of course, a Brutalizer because the Brutalizer will build into this eventually. But let's also talk about what this Brutalizer also builds into. So for items to consider, Hex Drink is just a good item, to be completely honest. It really does help you out in a lot of different ways. I like to pick this up decently early mid-game. But we can consider building our Brutalizer besides into our augment into our Stalker's Blade into either later a Black Cleaver or a Yumu's Ghost Blade. Now, the two differences here are you get more damage and a little bit of health out of the Black Cleaver, but I don't personally care for this one quite as much. I a little bit like the Ghost Blade a little bit more, mostly because you can activate it, get the movement speed, the attack speed over 6 seconds, and this makes your ganks incredibly good and a lot harder for them to escape. So that's what I personally like, but they're both really good just in different ways. It's a playstyle thing. So continuing on, a full build of my choice would be the Stalker's Blade with the Warrior enchantment. I like Boots of Mobility. You just run to Ling and jump on them and stun them. It's an easy gank. If they then try to run after that, you have the Yumu's Ghost Blade that you can activate and speed up and murder them in the face. Then we start to get a little bit of defense with the Randuin's Omen, lots of health and lots of armor, and then we finish off that Hex Drinker into the Maw of Malmortius, giving us more attack damage and magic resist. Now, as for our final item, this comes down to personal preference. Here are your finishers. It is, of course, the Banshee's Veil. It's a Banshee's Veil. It's helpful. Same thing kind of with the Guardian Angel. These both, you know, we just want more defense because we have plenty of offense and armor penetration at the time. But if you want to go with more damage, obviously a Blade of the Rune King actually is a pretty smart choice. Once again, with the active on it where you can slow them and steal health. Just kind of a big hit item right there, and works pretty well on Pantheon as well. But that will be a quick build for Pantheon. Really strong in the jungle, run into lanes, stun people at level 3, get lots of ganks off, use your ultimate a lot. You're gonna win a game. It's gonna happen. But that is Pantheon, and other than that, just good luck out there on the fields of justice.